The Lions are urged to sign a former $26 million Pro Bowl defender for playoff run. Now, the Detroit Lions wrapped up the 2024 regular season in a dominant fashion, defeating the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 31-9 at Ford Field on Sunday Night Football. With their win in Week 18 over Minnesota, Detroit clinched the NFC North for the second consecutive year and is also the number 1 seed in the conference for the first time in franchise history. Dan Campbell's squad will have a bye week in the wild card round due to the perks of being the top seed and won't play again until the divisional round. This is a good time for the team to rest up and prepare for a highly anticipated postseason run, but it's also an opportunity for general manager Brad Holmes to add some talent to the roster ahead of the postseason. The Lions boast on one of the deepest rosters in the NFL, but one area of concern for Detroit is the edge rusher position. Injuries to Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport have decimated the unit, and though the addition of Zadarius Smith has provided a major boost to the pass rushing department, Holmes should look to add another player to the position group before the Lions take the field in the divisional round. Rosters are frozen for playoff teams at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Jan 18, so the Lions must act quickly if they want to make a move to bolster the pass rush before the postseason. The free agent is extremely lackluster at this point in the season, but Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox urges Detroit to sign veteran edge rusher Yannick Ngakoue to the roster for the postseason. Detroit could also provide a sensible landing spot for Ngakoue, Knox wrote, and the Lions' defense has been hit hard by injuries. But the biggest blow was the loss of star pass rusher Aiden Hutchinson. He's been out since week 6 with a fractured tibia and fibula, and if he returns at all this year, a very big if, it probably won't be until the Super Bowl. Ngakoue isn't the same player he was earlier in the career with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but the 29-year-old could still provide some adequate depth in Detroit's edge rusher room. Ngakoue appeared in 11 games this season, and 6 with the New England Patriots, and 5 with the Baltimore Ravens, and posted 1.5 sacks and 10 quarterback pressures. Now, the 2016 third round pick is just 2 years removed from a 9 sack and a 44 quarterback pressure campaign with the Indianapolis Colts in 2022, and also tallied 4 sacks with the Chicago Bears in 2023. Ngakoue has been a journeyman player over the last few seasons, suiting up for 7 different teams since 2019. Overall, Ngakoue is past his prime and is no longer a reliable pass rusher in the NFL, but the former Maryland standout would be a savvy veteran addition to the Lions' defensive line for the playoff run. The second story is the Lions' Amick Robertson delivers incredible post-game speech after the Vikings win. After years of disappointment, the Detroit Lions have arrived. Sunday's season finale resulted in another win in the NFC Championship North, which we talked about earlier, and the vibes have been immaculate before a hopeful Super Bowl run for the Lions, who are on the doorstep of competing for a championship as well last season. After spanking their divisional rivals, cornerback Amick Robertson delivered an epic post-game speech that will make every fan want to run through a brick wall. Take a look. The quote by Amick Robinson might already be the coldest quote as said by Jordan Schultz. They can't bury what comes the effing dirt. So, obviously, I did change a couple of the words just to keep it PG rated, but after spending the first 4 seasons of the NFL career with the Las Vegas Raiders, Robertson signed a 2-year deal with Detroit in March. He's emerged as an integral part of the Lions secondary, registering 50 total tackles, 40 solo tackles, 8 passes defense, and a team best 3 forced fumbles. Robertson truly proved his worth in 2024. The CB had a tall task on Sunday as he had to defend Justin Jefferson, but Robertson rose to the occasion. He held one of the NFL's best wide receivers to just 3 catches on 9 targets. Following the victory, the former Louisiana Tech standout revealed how confident he felt when he knew Jefferson was the assignment. When they gave me the assignment, man, I knew we had a chance to win, Robertson said. I knew they were going to put me in a good situation to be myself within the scheme. So I just felt like, of course, the defense, I knew guys were going to fly around, I already knew. When they told me the assignment was to guard Jefferson, I knew we had a chance to win because, I always believe in myself. I've been anxious for this opportunity for so long. Everything I did out there was expected. I knew I was going to play that way. The only thing I kind of was shocking that I got player of the game. I never got one of those, man. That was an unreal feeling. The most impressive part, Robertson has played mostly the slot this season for the Lions because of so many injuries to their defense. But he's held it down and put together the best campaign of his career. Detroit is a force to be reckoned with a legitimate contending in the NFL playoffs. But they also do have the best chance of actually winning, as the sports bettors do believe so as well. So with the NFL wildcard playoffs just around the corner, we got some great picks. And the first one we like is Los Angeles Chargers to beat the Houston Texans. Now I do bet on BetUS, which has the fastest payouts in the industry, and right now have a 150% bonus on your first deposit and then 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. So we're going to be placing $50 just like that to win, and we're just going to do it in just 2 easy steps like that. We are good to go, ready to bet, and we got the Chargers beating the Houston Texans. So definitely go check out BetUS. 150% bonus on your first deposit and then 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. So definitely go check them out. Thank you again, BetUS, for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back into it. The third story is a historic NFL change alters Detroit Lions playoff run. Now the Detroit Lions are riding a high off their win, but now the Lions have to wait. They skip the wildcard round and have a bye week before taking on their next opponent, who will be determined by the outcome of the wildcard playoffs. As the Lions wait, things will be a bit different, though, since a historic NFL change is affecting the team's playoff run. It's no secret that both Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn are top names when it comes to teams looking to fill their head coaching position. In the past, Johnson and Glenn would have been forced to wait until after the Lions were out of the playoffs or were to win the Super Bowl to interview for head coach positions, but the rule has changed. A new NFL rule that starts this season will allow for both Johnson and Glenn to take interviews during the coming week. However, there are some specifics. These guys can't just fly around all week and meet with teams. The interviews have to take place virtually and be between January 8th and January 13th. NFL analyst and expert Peter Schrager of Fox Sports posted a message on X about the change in noting new coaching hire cycle rules. As coordinators from the number 1 seeded team, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn can interview with teams starting Wednesday. Spags can too. They've all got to be virtual and they must be completed by Monday, Jan 13. So, both the Lions and Chiefs have sought after coordinators that could be a bit distracted during the bye week. These guys are professionals although, so don't worry about them losing sight of the prize at hand, which is a Super Bowl victory. The Detroit Lions will face the winner of the number 5 seed Minnesota Vikings and number 4 seed Los Angeles Rams at Ford Field. The Vikings and Rams play on Monday, January 13th in Los Angeles. Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network reported on Monday, January 6th, that the Chicago Bears are requesting interviews with both Johnson and Glenn for their head coaching opening. As for other notable openings, according to The Athletic, the New York Jets have interest in Glenn. That seemed to be the case. A NFL insider, Albert Beer, reports that the Jets have requested to interview Glenn, stating the Jets have put in a request to interview Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn for their head coaching job, per sources. He was the team's first-round pick in 1994 and played corner for 8 seasons for the team. The Lions' definitive win over the Vikings surely makes both Johnson and Glenn more attractive head coaching candidates, and the Lions' defense held the Vikings to just 9 points and no touchdowns, which is especially impressive since Detroit has so many injured defensive players out. It would be surprising to not see at least one of these coordinators take a head coaching gig for the next season. So they're definitely in a very good spot when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, and when it comes to who they do next, when it comes to the matchup that will face off very, very soon. I think the Detroit Lions won't have any problems finalizing and getting the deal done in order to get them into a great spot to make it to the NFL playoffs and NFL Super Bowl per se. So the Detroit Lions are looking very, very well, so you want to keep an eye out for them for sure.